I'm going to do a little test popping of some of the corn that we grew last year. The two ears to the left are glass gem corn. One ear is mostly red and the other ear is shades of blue and purple. I also took some popcorn from the grocery store and grew some of that out in the garden, and this is an ear that it produced. And the last ear to the right is a cross between the two. I planted the grocery store popcorn several weeks before the glass gem corn, and once the glass gem corn started to produce tassels, I cut the tassels off of the grocery store popcorn. That way any crossing that would occur would be from the glass gem corn to the popcorn and not the other way around. As you can see, this cross has colored kernels all the way through it. I'm really interested to see how the hybrid kernels pop, so let's give it a try and see what happens. I put 20 kernels in each bowl. The first bowl here is actual grocery store popcorn out of the bag. That's the seed that I used to grow last year's grocery store popcorn out in the garden, which you see in this bowl. Then I have the glass gem corn, a few of the red kernels and a few of the blue kernels. And then finally we have the hybrid corn that is a cross between the grocery store popcorn and the glass gem corn. Now let's pop them and see what happens. Alright, here's what we have. The first bowl with the grocery store popcorn out of the bag popped pretty well, but there were a few kernels that didn't fully pop. But to be fair, it's been in the bag for a while, so it's not expired, but it's starting to get a little old. And this is the popcorn that I grew from those seeds out in the garden, and it did very well. Looks like every kernel popped. Then the bowl with the glass gem corn has me a little puzzled. Last year it didn't pop all that well, but some of these are actually pretty good size and are bigger than the grocery store popcorn. Not all of the kernels popped, but the ones that did pop are pretty large. Then we have the hybrid popcorn, cross between the two, and it did pretty well too. It all popped, but they're smaller, or they look smaller to me than the other ones. I'm really intrigued by the glass gem corn, how it popped. As I mentioned last year, it didn't pop nearly as well, and the ones that popped this year are much larger. Although there were a few that didn't pop at all. I hadn't planned to grow glass gem corn this year, but now I'm thinking about growing it. After thinking about it for a while, I'm going to try to pop some red and blue glass gem corn and see if there's a difference in how they pop. This little test has me convinced to grow some glass gem corn this year, even though I hadn't planned to. The red kernels didn't pop very well at all, but the blue kernels popped pretty well, and some of those are pretty large. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is, but there is definitely a difference. So I'm going to grow some, I think, and just see how they turn out. And I'm also going to go ahead and grow some of that hybrid corn that I crossed between the grocery store popcorn and the glass gem corn and see how that does. If you've ever crossed any corn yourself, I'd like to hear about how it worked out for you. And if you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Otherwise, like, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.